Welcome and thanks for joining me. I'm Scott. You're watching Guitarnivore, and today we're doing another Boss Katana Mark II tone tutorial. It can be used with the Gen 3, and I will upload the same tone. I had to make some adjustments to it for the Go, but I use the same headphones, so it should sound very similar. I like to use the stage mode 1 or 2 when I'm using it, because it sounds cooler on the Go. But we're not talking about the Go, we're talking about the Mark II. And for this one, I did use a sneaky amp. I used the MS-1959-1 because I wanted a Marshall type amp. And if you need to download those sneaky amps, they will not hurt your amp despite what people say. You can download them from the link in the description. Anyway, let's get to Tone Studio and I can explain it a little bit better there. So here we are inside Tone Studio. I have the chain set to 2-2, so I have my mod before my booster because I am running a light compressor in there. And I've got my gain at 73 and my volume cranked right up to 85. I got my bass at 62. I scooped the mids a little bit at 32, and I've got the treble at 66. I got the cabinet resonance here set to moderate and my presence at 59. No solos, no global EQ, no contour. I do have a noise suppressor set at 66 and 45. Otherwise, you'd hear all sorts of buzzing from my guitar. I also have a noise suppressor within my Revelator interface because with so much gain sitting in front of this computer, it picks up noise. So I've already recorded this once and hissing was annoying the daylights out of me. So I'm re-recording it for you. So here we go. We've gone across the top of the board with the amp. Let's go with the booster. I have the Governor DS on the booster. I wanted a nice thick booster for that Marshall sneaky amp. So I used the Governor DS, and I've got the drive at 36, tone at 4, plus 10 on the bottom, 50 on the level. And over here, I've got the direct mix 71. If you turn it down to 0, it sounds weird. You can crank it up, but anywhere past 50 sounds much better. And I'll show you that in just a second. So without any effects on right now, we are at... So it's kind of sounding a little rubber bandy. Not good. Let's turn on the booster. Sounding better. It'll sound a whole lot better once we EQ it. So with this direct mix, let's play with it real quick. See what I mean? I found the sweet spot right around 71, but you could crank it all the way up if you wanted to. But I'm going to leave it at 71 because that's why I have it in the patch, and that's how it is set. Moving over to the mod, I have got a light compressor here. I'm going to turn it on, and it's going to add a little bit of a volume boost to it. I've got the sustain at 59, attack at 52, plus 3 on the tone, and 57 on the level. Still working here. Next up, I do have a chorus. This is optional, but I think it sounds much better with the chorus. Now, when you got a chorus, it kind of doubles the signal, takes the signal and actually drops the tuning a little bit to make it sound like it's more than one thing. I say thing because it can be guitar, bass, vocals, etc. So I do have these kind of set modestly, except for the levels. I got the levels kind of turned up quite a bit. And the direct mix at 100 and 200, that's the default on this chorus. So I just left that there. But you can see where I got my high and low rates at 22 and 18. And modest settings over here. Let's turn it on. Next, moving up to our reverb, I have a plate reverb on here. 3 seconds on the time. 10 milliseconds on the pre-delay. These are the default. I just usually leave them right there. So is this density. It's 5 on the density and 21 on the effects level. So turning it on, it's just kind of a modest reverb. I'm using the word modest a lot, aren't I? Let's add in the EQs to really round everything out. And that'll be it. So on the first EQ, I've got a parametric EQ. You'll notice on all of my other tone tutorial videos, these are my default frequencies that I use. And I might just play with these up here a little bit more. So that's all I've done here. I have 40 on my low, 250 on my low mid, 1.6 on mid highs, and the high cut at 5. And that seems to be the sweet spot for just about every distortion I've done, unless it requires a little muddier sound. But I do have 3 on the low, 0 on the low mid, +2 on the high mid, and +1 on the high gain, and the level at +3. And it is amp out, of course. And lastly, a graphic equalizer, amp out again, and here I cut the lows a little bit, and I did cut the 125 hertz just a hair, and I left some of the other mids alone, boosted this mid right here, boosted this one here, and then these high mids right here, I boosted them a little bit, and the highs, I cut them back just a hair, and then cranked up the overall level to +4. So here's the final sound. Now, to learn this song, it's probably one of the easiest Sepultura songs to learn how to play. It's just a handful of parts that you just have to memorize the order. And once you get that down, it's super easy. So the beginning just starts out, and that's beginning and the end. And then in between you have, and then it's all power chords. It's all super easy. And then the main verses. Not giving you a guitar lesson here. I'm just telling you how easy it is to play. Just about any beginner should be able to learn how to play it quite easily. But as far as distortion goes, this tone isn't anything really special. It's an EQ'd, distorted tone. But in order to hit that tone, as I always say, make sure your guitar is in the right tuning as a song. This song is in D standard. Chaos is when they started doing a little more down tuning, and then it went into Roots where they down tuned even more. Now you might be also wondering why I'm wearing a Soulfly shirt on a Sepultura tone tutorial. Well, the answer is I haven't owned a Sepultura t-shirt since Max was in the band, and I outgrew that one a long time ago. And this one was one of the first Soulfly shirts on the market, so this one's pretty old. So yeah, that's why. You didn't need to know that, but if you were curious. Anyway, that is the entire tone. That's one of my favorite parts of the song. It just goes crazy right there. Anyway, I'm going over a little bit here, longer than I really wanted to. But that's it. If you want to learn this song, look it up on Songster if you have Ultimate Guitar. And if you can get Ultimate Guitar for a yearly subscription, I'm telling you, it really pays off. So I did it a couple years ago, and I've never looked back. And it cost me like $20, $30 a year, I think. So that's a really helpful tool in trying to learn new songs. And most of their official tabs are either spot on or very close. So if you like this video, hit that like button for me, please. If you want to see more and you're going to come back, hit that subscribe, hit that notify bell if you want to. And we'll see you next time.